Welcome into the Upstate Pulse. My name is Lonzo. It is a beautiful Saturday. It really is. It's a nice Saturday out there. And so glad that you guys are out there and about, because you obviously are out there and about, because, I mean, it's nice. And that's what you do when it's nice. We were out and about somewhere, and we're going to talk about where we were in just a little bit. If this is your first time listening to the show, we don't do politics here. So, I mean, I don't want you to turn away, because who knows? Maybe we can say something that'll make you smile. Maybe we can say something that'll make you think, or maybe we can say something that'll make you mad. Either way, you'll still be somewhat entertained.
Or we could do all three at the same time.
Well, I've been known to invoke many emotions.
Let's press all the buttons
all at one time. On today's show, we are talking South Carolina Comicon, because the first day of the con is now over. But don't fret, there's still another day tomorrow. If you missed it today, you can go tomorrow. You can get your tickets there at the Greenville Convention Center, by the way. Go in and meet some wonderful guests, buy some stuff, which we did, which we'll be doing some show and tell later. They'll be doing show and tell. I bought one thing and I already put it up. So,
someone forgot to bring the object to class.
I did. My show and tell is me. You're welcome. We're also going to be talking about Dragon Ball Daima. We're going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again. We got an AI takeover, which has to do with Corleo, not Don Corleo, but Corleo. And we're going to get to that. We have an oops. Got some video game stuff. Matthew is going to be ecstatic about the Switch 2 and talk to us about that. We also have Nerd Roundtable, where we're going to discuss a bunch of trailers, including the Tron trailer, Naked Gun trailer, and the extended Superman trailer. But before we get started with all that, let me tell you, be a part of the show. Text line is 800-905-0989. Just store it in your phone, and then I don't have to keep saying it, because it's a lot of numbers. But I'll say it one more time: 800-905-0989. No, I don't have it memorized. Whatever. We are also live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X at either the Upstate Pulse or 98.9 WORD. So you can check us out there. We are always live unless there's some sort of technical glitch, which I think we're good today, because there are people already commenting. So we're probably good. Let me introduce the stars of the show. Before we get to that, Odie is not here. He is at a secret gathering.
Something about Dubai?
Yeah, I don't know. There may be a plane involved. I'm not quite sure, but he's at a secret gathering.
I'm not at liberty to discuss the situation.
There you go, because Matthew knows a lot about gatherings. But Odie is not here because of the secret gathering. We wish him well with his venture, whatever it may be. Unless it's nefarious, then I guess we hope we don't get caught. Cameron is here.
We wish him well.
Yeah, well, I guess it's still. I mean, can you wish someone well with their nefarious? I don't know if you can do that.
True. I mean, it's sympathy for rogues and all that.
Well, then it makes it look like that you're condoning what they're doing.
No. You just hope that they make it out okay and hopefully learn a valuable lesson.
It's Odie.
He's not going to learn any lessons.
No, he's not.
He's not going to. Some other people will learn lessons.
The lesson he'll learn is how to get away with it more easily the next time.
That's true.
He should have did this better.
Just speak his native language and pretend like he doesn't know English. All right, Cameron is here.
Hi.
Yes, as you've already heard. Matthew is here.
Yeah, that's me. Wow. That's crazy.
And you know what we did today? We went to South Carolina Comicon.
Should we be more verbose and bombastic with doing this?
If you want to scare people. I
mean, I guess we could, but does it really matter?
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, just be you. That's all I can say is be you.
Which me?
Well, that's also a good point. If you're watching on screen and you see me look up, it's because I'm just watching my eyes go up, which is probably shouldn't do this when I do that then. But anyway.
Oh, that was like you got like a Paul Giamatti eye there for a second there.
I was hoping that I was going with a little Undertaker. Anyway, not the Timu kind, but the real kind. All right, South Carolina.
Well, you interviewed the first one.
I did. South Carolina Comicon happened today, the first day. Second day is tomorrow, opening at 11 o'clock. Going to 6, I believe. And so if you didn't make it out today, or if you did and you bought 2-day passes, then you're going back tomorrow. We did something we had never done before, and that's the VIP experience. And I will tell you, I feel a little bad about it because normally I like being out there in the crowd, seeing what people are dressed up as, and just getting a vibe of what's going on with the pop culture crowd that's heading into the con. But I have a lame leg. Well, it's not lame because it hurts really bad. And so I asked the fine folks at South Carolina Comicon if I could get in a little bit earlier. We got in a little bit.
I still think
earlier,
we should have
so-
went with the Monty Python wheelbarrow idea.
Well, it would have worked, except for no, they would have let it. Who's gonna push me in the wheelbarrow?
Me?
Okay, all right. Your arms would have got tired after.
Are we
a
gonna
while.
make Matthew do it?
Well, yeah, that would be funnier.
It would be.
Yeah, for sure, that would be funnier. We could find a way to motorize it. I mean,
you could feel the intenseness of his no.
Yeah, it's like, no, I ain't doing that.
No.
So anyway, if we didn't see any, well, actually, I saw quite a few people.
Because the other
there.
thing is like I'd just
Yeah.
be walking. I was like, "Bring out your dead."
Immediately as we're going in there, Rob Young wants a hug, which is like, dude, I'm not doing that. He's like, yeah, you are, and he gave me a hug anyway. I mean,
Hey, when the exalted Rob asks for a hug,
my explicit. I don't know if explicit is the. I think it. So my adamant, my whatever, my. I have demanded no hugs, and right away before we even get in the building, start off with a hug. It's probably a good idea because by the time we were done, I was a little soggy. You probably don't want to, you don't want none of that.
Yeah,
you don't want none of that.
you don't want a wet hug.
Also, shout out to Austin, who, hey, Lonzo, hey, hi, you don't remember me, do you? And then he gave me time. He gave me time to look at him and remember. Did you notice that? He gave me time, and I'm just looking at him. You know how when a dog looks at you and it just kind of turns its head, that's what I was doing. Like maybe if I should have walked over and like took his face and just like moved his face to make him younger, because he's, as he pointed out, he worked here like 10 or 15 years ago. I mean, people change except for me. I either get fat or skinny, but I'm still look like me.
You have grayed slightly.
Well, I mean, got a little bit of salt going on up in here, but that's the first place that we went, and I bought something. I got a Fat Boo. Okay. I realized I didn't have a Fat Boo statue. Now I do. And I picked it up, and it's, as I'm picking it up, it's like, hey, Lonzo. It was like, oh, hello. And it's got weight to it. That's the best thing I think about South Carolina Comicon or any con period is you can touch the merchandise.
That personal interaction is exactly why I always respond every single time to somebody saying hello to me to, hey man, what's up? You'll never know if I remember you or not.
Yeah.
Because every single person is, hey man.
It was funnier my way. Well, listen.
Also, it was fun to watch like the bells ring in your head when you finally did.
Well, they're not there. They're just not there. It's public interaction. So even if this was someone who I had spent time with, a bunch over the last couple of months, there's a shot I don't remember. And it's because when people talk to me in public, my brain shuts down. I don't know why that is. It didn't entirely. Once we got going and he told me who he was, we both were able to crack on Matt Tomlinson. And that's one of my favorite pastimes of all time. And if you are someone who's listened to me on Saturday nights, because I am the king of Saturdays, then you would know that Matt Tomlinson was on here for over a decade also. But it was nice to see Austin, who is his looks. All right. No offense, Austin. You lost some hair, dude. That's what I mean. Some people, as they bald a little bit, they look totally different. And last time I had an interaction with him, he had a full head of hair. But
I will never bald. Pay no attention to my lineage.
Okay. All right. Hey, my lineage is like landing strip right up the middle. And I know I've got some receding going on, but I'm also pushing 60. I think I'm good. So, and I also have the ready-made comb over. So I let my hair go like 8 inches down. You push it over top the head. You put a hat on. Boom. You got full on lettuce. That's what you got. You absolutely do.
The moment that you start on the comb over, you've already lost.
Yeah, well,
exactly. You should just give up. Give up and just shave.
If I shave my head, I look like King Kong Bundy with a bunch of head scars. You
Here's
don't
what
want to see that. I know Matthew doesn't know who King Kong Bundy is, but
it's ringing a bell for me.
He was a rather large man with a bald head.
I was about to say
it was the first time big time bald wrestler that I can recall. I mean, you could say maybe superstar Billy Graham, but he wasn't that big.
Wait, there's a wrestler named Billy Graham?
Superstar Billy Graham. Yes. It was before my time, but I know he exists. So we got to see all the guests setting up, a ton of them before the lines formed, and see who was there and who wasn't there yet. I'm not saying, big time stars, I don't know why my wife has said hello multiple times, it looks like, but hello. All right, let us, or she's telling me to shut up. That's probably it. If you want to be a part of the show, hit us up on the stream like Chris did. Chris says, hello, guys. Trey said, sup, guys. Chris said, you're a man down. Yes, we are, because Odie's at a secret gathering. Chris asked that I get a double handshake from the fan base. No double handshake with caressing. It did not happen. Yeah, that did not happen. And I'm not suggesting that should happen, because I plan on going back tomorrow. But yeah, I don't. Yeah.
There could be some bouncing that happens because of it. I apologize.
Trey says, I still think Lonzo should cosplay as Professor X. No, I would be better at the Blob.
Can we get your best to me, my X-Men?
Come on.
I don't. To me, my X-Men. Okay, that's it. That's about as serious as I get. No, so I feel like you're looking at me, and then my brain's going to shut down. I immediately wanted to go British, because he's British. I know he's doing an American accent, but he's British. But I'm not going to do that, because our foreigner is not here today. So it's the handshake that feels like a hug, says Chris. No, I did not do that.
Why did I immediately hear the snack that smiles back? Goldfish.
The text line is 800-905-0989. We're going to get into what those guys got at Comic-Con when we get back from break. First, let's go to let's go to the text line. Texter says, "Hey gang, this is Brad in the Blue Ridge. Can you wish my beautiful wife Denise a happy 39th anniversary? Please, we love your show." Thank you, Brad, and thank you, Denise. Happy anniversary. 39. I mean, that's awesome, dude. I am. We just celebrated 32 probably 6 months ago. So I get it. And being able to spend all those years with the same person and they still tolerate you, Brad, because if you're like me, there's a lot of tolerance involved, because I am
love, true love.
Yeah. Yes.
It's about a lack of murder.
I'm actually just a few months away from my 29th anniversary.
Of what?
Being alive?
Being alive. I was going to say something else, but that works.
I thought you were going to say of not being married, which would still be the same thing.
Too.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back,
got you beat, buddy.
We're going to find out what Cameron and what Matthew got at South Carolina Comic-Con. Matthew got a lot of stuff, and he's really excited about it. Cameron's pretty excited, too. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. There. Since I moved the other camera, I'm positioning over here where I could see everything like I should, because it's ergonomics. But I got to remember there's a clock on that screen. I run this board in this room once every couple months, so I kind of forget how to do some stuff.
I was about to ask, is it a blue moon?
I don't know. Might be.
Because I know.
Let's ask Matthew. Matthew, is it a blue moon tonight?
I don't know.
Well, as a news guy, you should know if it's a blue moon or not.
I imagine if there was, that we would have been reporting on it, so probably not.
And as a part-time druid, I figured you would know too.
I don't know. Is a blue moon newsworthy?
Yeah, because we reported on it.
Oh, the blood moon. No. That's
we reported on the blood moon, but we reported on a blue moon a while back as well.
I hear about blue moons and I look and I just I don't see it. Blood moons. I mean, that's
the next
creepy.
Blue moon is
Metal,
going to be
Chris.
in just under a little over a year. May 31st, 2026 is the next one in the Greenville area.
Can anyone out there look at the blue moon and know it's a blue moon?
I'm pretty sure it actually looks blue. So,
just like a blood moon is red.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I get the blood moon. I can see the blood moon. I've never looked at the moon and went, "Hey, that's a blue moon."
What color is the killing moon? That comes too soon.
The people who saw it are dead. So I don't know.
So how did Echo and the Bunnymen, how were they able to sing and play a song about it?
Chris, he's been working on that band for a while, and he would just say it's rock, but it's metal. And it's
does Does he not want to say it's metal?
We all have no. What I'm saying is he says he will say it's rock, but it's metal. There's double bass pedal.
True. But I mean, metal is also rock.
And if I recall, there's some screaming. I've heard the music and I've heard he's doing the singing, and they're doing something different. I mean, something that not a lot of other people do. Well, I guess some people do, and they're doing studio work before they actually go out and play. I don't think he's played live once or twice. I'm not sure. Even though we work the same shift, I don't see him that much. Just every once in a while. Especially when I'm coming off of a vacation or something. I've been extremely busy. So I have limited time to get my work done. And sometimes I do. There are days where I'm real popular. When I'm real popular, I don't get anything done. So I'd almost prefer. And then when I'm not real popular, I feel really lonely. There's got to be there's an in-between in there. I'll be in the office all by myself and I'll look down and go, wow, I got all my work done. Still got an hour to go. I think I'll just go home.
No.
Hope someone noticed that I just went home. Trey, I thought Blue Moons were only in Kentucky. That's why I just,
Yeah, I have heard that the Minecraft movie is absolutely horrible.
Right. See,
but it's absolutely hilarious to have a huge crowd for.
If you look at social media,
yeah,
half of them, it's the worst thing it's ever created, and the other half is pointing out how much money it made already.
Yeah.
This movie, to me, is for little kids. It's not for adults. It's for little kids to go. They don't need a plot. They just need they need their Minecraft looking like it's alive. That's all they need.
A movie being for kids doesn't mean it can't also just be a decent movie.
No,
and it should be.
I agree, but
Any
it doesn't.
It
doesn't
still be.
It doesn't
movie.
have to be to make money for kids.
Oh no, yeah, of course.
Because if I'm an 8-year-old and I've been playing Minecraft for a year and I can look on the screen and see all those square stuff, I don't like Minecraft, but because I don't like squares.
My only issue is when people use "oh, it's made for kids" as a defense for a bad movie.
Well, if you were a kid, then you can give an actual critique of it. But because you're not, I mean,
that's not what that means.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo and Matthew and Cameron are here. Odie is the secret gathering. I personally think it's a conference of peninsulas, but I could be wrong.
I'm still not at liberty to share.
Yeah. I think it's a conference of peninsulas.
As a spokesperson for that particular organization that he represents.
What, the conference of peninsulas?
I'm not at liberty to share that information.
Okay. All right. His PR guy, as usual, not saying a thing. All right, South Carolina Comicon, day 1 in the books. Day 2 is tomorrow. So if you're out and about and you're just like flipping through the radio stations trying to find, something, and you haven't been in this area, welcome to Greenville and welcome to the Upstate Pulse. Stay tuned in while you're here. Maybe if you live in North Carolina or you live in Georgia, as you go, just keep us dialed in because you can still get us there because this signal is uber strong. All right, Cameron, that means it's really strong. What are you saying? Uber strong is not strong?
No, I don't think I've
ever never heard me use Uber.
No, you've never said Uber
Listen. All right, I have.
Are we collaborating?
No, I actually have a bigger vocabulary than what I use. It's not much bigger. And sometimes I try. If I add a word, another one has to be knocked away.
Well, here's the
not
thing.
To forget one.
You have this knack of just adding things that you would never normally say. Most people are very rigid in the vocabulary that they use. You use everything, but rarely. Like you will pick things. I'm trying to give you a compliment.
No, actually,
you always keep me on my toes.
You're just pointing out how I don't really know anything, or it is, but I'm really good at like stealing from everyone.
I think you're being very pessimistic with that world.
No, I'm not. All right. Texter says, "Good evening, guys," from Brian Pettit. And Lonzo, did you meet Sting? No, because Sting's not here yet. Sting's only here tomorrow from 11 to 2. So I don't even know if he's in town yet. I'm not sure if he is. You feel free to drop by the studio, Sting. I'll let you in. I'm not letting anybody else in, but I'll let you in. And I'll know if it's you, not just someone dressed up in face paint.
Will there be? Well, yeah.
He's a large individual.
He is a
even
big
though he's
guy.
older. Yeah, I mean, you can't fake that unless you're like wearing stacks or something. All right, Cameron, what did you get at South Carolina Comic-Con?
Okay, so
And remember, we are on stream, so you can actually show it while you're
yes.
talking about it.
I can show and tell.
You can.
All right. So first and foremost, I got a Kid Buu figurine with him doing his Planet Buster move.
It's actually it's a statue.
Yes, it's a nice statue. I also got a fair amount of art this time around. Didn't really need anything like physical. I have a lot of dice and stuff like that, even though I did see a lot of good dice.
You can always use more dice.
You guys both,
I know, I
you guys
resisted.
checked in with Dice Girl, right? You both checked
Oh, of
in with
course.
Dice Girl? Yeah.
Every time.
I'm
So-
sure she has a name, but I'm like, look, Cameron, Dice Girl. And he knew who I was talking
Knew exactly who he was
Yeah,
talking about. So another one is this awesome pencil drawn Darth Vader by a local artist by the name of Mel. Then we have some other art pieces. If I can be a little bit more swifter about this. So I got a nice earth dragon, like kind of very earthy aesthetic with some trees with like, I think cherry blossoms. Those look like cherry blossoms, right, Matthew?
Yeah, those are your cherry blossoms.
Okay. Also got a very nice Fallout New Vegas poster right here. And I also got a bottle cap with that. There's a guy who was running that booth was also running like some extra games and stuff like that along with that. Even what was the thing called? The one where like the coin falls down the
Pachinko, I think it's called.
Yeah, Pachinko. And I almost got to the middle. It's just like I actually almost want to buy
Wow.
some of the caps.
I didn't
That's
know
how
that.
he gets you.
Yeah.
I know. And I was making a joke to Matthew on the way out. I was like,
Audience
I was so close.
participation. Well, yeah. I mean,
oh, you could also like win a Pip-Boy and stuff like that too.
yeah,
I mean, it was
there
just
was
like,
probably, you should have pointed that out to me. I probably would have went over there. I didn't see
I
that
didn't
one.
want to point that out to you because you might lose all your money.
Well,
Most gamblers quit before they hit it big. Just keep gambling. Easy. This is not actual advice. Do not gamble. Gambling is bad.
all right. So not a bad run for Cameron.
And also an R2D2 with a whole bunch of butterflies on it, which have the motifs of several different characters, including Darth Maul, which is the scariest butterfly of them all, which I believe comes from Kay Arkham. So if you want to, if you like that artwork, then you can go and see her and grab some stuff from her.
There you go. Now Matthew has like 15 bags.
Listen, okay, I got a few things.
that a
I
treasure
was not
chest?
expecting to spend much money. I
You
spent
say that
money.
every year, though. You do.
Because I never do, and then I do anyway, and I feel bad, and then I look at my bank account and I think, oh man, I spent money. I don't want to spend that.
By the way,
money.
while he's getting his stuff out, I did buy one other thing. I bought my granddaughter a big Jigglypuff plushie.
By the way, if you didn't, I was going
Yeah,
to.
I got it for her. So I mean, she's getting into Pokemon, and we're trying to nerd her as much as we can to make her a big old nerd. I mean, she can deal with bullying. She'll be all right.
the
yeah, I
Wikipedia
mean-
of Upstate Pulse.
You are, aren't you? Okay. All right, Matthew, what'd you get?
All right, so I got several things. So first off, I grabbed the rest of the series Hulk, volumes 8 through 12. Except, or I didn't get volume 10 because the volume 10 that they had, the binding was off-centered, and I that bugs me whenever I see it. So I don't do that. I will just find another copy of volume 10 that is not off-centered.
What do you mean if it's off
Yeah,
center?
it's self-centered.
So
'cause,
if you see how the binding is on here, how you can see that there's no white space on either side, the actual the side cover, the binding
Gotcha.
does
Okay.
not leak over.
does
and
that
the-
make it worth less if it does?
It's
or
not
is
that
it
it's
just a
worth more or
preference?
less. It's literally just a visual thing
Okay,
for me
all right,
on like
all
a
right.
shelf.
Are you familiar with Death the Kid from Soul Eater?
Yes, I am Death the Kid from Soul Eater when it comes to collecting
It's
manga.
not symmetrical.
Yes, but like it's actually a thing. So especially on manga that have like a colored cover, you will see that and it will stand out. There will just be a line of color in between your manga volumes, and it will stand out.
No, I completely understand what you're
Oh, yeah.
saying, and it's a legitimate gripe.
Oh yeah. I also grabbed volume 12 of Freerin, which came out recently, so I got that. I grabbed this was the find that I was really surprised by, because if you go to a convention most of the time they're not going to bring stuff that's like out of print or anything or worth money. They're going to bring stuff that is in print and popular because they know it's going to sell, and they're going to just throw a discount on it and say, here you go. But I actually found several volumes of Lone Wolf and Cub, which is a very classic Japanese manga series, as well as film series from, I believe, the 80s, 70s, and 80s, I believe.
It sounds so familiar when you just said the title.
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Like maybe I have seen it before.
It's a very generic type of title, but it's also very much.
Well,
what you
I watched
expect.
a lot of anime in the 70s and the 80s and didn't know it was
Oh,
anime.
this wasn't an anime.
Okay.
This was a live action adaptation.
Okay, all right.
Because it's a period drama. But I grabbed of the original series, 6 separate volumes. This has been out of print for a long time, not as long as the 70s and 80s in the West, because they were not localized back then.
Yeah, trust me,
But
I'm
from like
definitely
I
out
believe
of
the
print.
early 2000s. So seeing that there was really awesome, and getting them at market price was crazy.
Also, to add a quick little aside here, the stack of manga he has is about like a foot tall right now.
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 volumes of manga.
How long does it
Yay.
take you to read them?
A volume of manga, it will depend on the manga itself, how much dialogue and things like that it is. Something like this is a very visual storytelling type of thing without as much dialogue. So Lone Wolf and Cub, it will depend entirely on how much I want to linger on things, but it'll probably take me an hour or so to go through a volume. Other stuff like a JoJo's volume that's going to be a bit larger, I'll usually read in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the size. But yeah. I also grabbed several art pieces, a super awesome Hollow Knight one. And then from the same artist, I also grabbed a Dark Souls Bonfire and the Master Sword in its pedestal. I love these art pieces. They are absolutely gorgeous. And the last things that I also grabbed, yes, I know it's a lot. I also grabbed a couple Pokemon plushes. I grabbed a Tyranitar plush. I saw this in the corner, like hidden behind stuff, and I was like, oh, Tyranitar. I'm getting that. I've never seen a Tyranitar plush. And it's a really nice Tyranitar plush as well. And the one that, this is probably my favorite thing that I got, aside from the fact of Lone Wolf and Cub being a really rare find, I also grabbed a plush of Volcarona, which I have never seen. I've never seen a plush of Volcarona before, and there is a bit of stitching issue on the back, so I got it at a discount as well.
Did you point out that there was a stitching issue?
Yes, but they were already aware of it.
Okay, all right. Did you say, hey, I don't want to pay full price for this because there's a stitching issue?
Yeah.
All right, we are going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get to I see all your texts. I see you on the stream. We're going to get to that. We also are going to be talking about Switch 2. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
I can sew that up.
Wait, you can sew?
Well, let me rephrase that. My mother is a very kind woman who knows how to sew.
There you go.
I was about to say, we wouldn't have
I
looked
really
down
should learn how to, though.
Well,
And ironically,
I
a
mean,
super helpful skill.
You know, moms are there for stuff.
Look, it's good for fabric. It's also good for after a nice afternoon brawl. I know how to stitch up some things.
I think the idea of sewing being solely feminine is really silly because
no one
holy
said
crap,
that.
it's such a good skill to have in general for life. It extends the life of all of your clothes. It allows you to repair basically like so many things.
You know, I agree with you, but I have a solution to that. I buy really cheap clothes, so when they just bust up, I throw them away and go buy some more really cheap clothes.
Well, same, but when I have clothes that I really like, when they start having any kind of a tear, it's like, no, I don't want to lose this. I love this shirt.
Tears around here happen because there's like you catch your shirt on something or something like that.
I've never had anything like that. It's
I
just-
have,
I just
unfortunately.
have like 6 or 7 year old shirts. that
There was a
remind me
nail
of the
that
end of
was
their
out.
lives.
I wonder if it's still. They replaced it with a screw. There was a nail that was out for like 15, 16 years over there.
Yeah, like I think this shirt is from 2018, maybe. I think I got it at MomoCon 2018 or 2019. So this is. I'm surprised that it's no tears or anything in it after that long. I don't think I have any other shirts that are that old without any issues that I wear as consistently as I do.
On a rare move for me, this is only a couple months old. I don't really like.
I just got this a couple weeks ago.
Look at us. We're at Proper Dapper.
The one thing about it, though, you go to South Carolina Comic Con, even you think, oh man, everyone's got this shirt. You look around and no one had this shirt, and everyone was looking at the shirt. So,
Yeah.
And I just got it at DX, but
I got 2 words for you.
it wasn't DX. It was DXL.
Oh, I was gonna say on sale.
Yeah.
But
It was. I forgot about the extra letter. What can I say?
also, I hate the fact that like Barry has made, or the show Barry has me thinking of NoHo Hank's line. Is like, do you have this in size medium? It's like whatever we're talking about shirts and stuff.
Come on, Florida. Why'd you come back for? Let's go, Auburn. Just want Diesel and Cole to lose. That's all I care about.
I want that for you.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. We got some stuff to take care of your drain.
I keep thinking
Hello,
he's saying
it
Green
is
Goblin
I,
here.
the Green Gobbler, here to meet with you. I heard that you have a drain issue.
That's somehow more disconcerting.
Yeah, it is. Well, no, because now I'm envisioning what Green Gobbler looks like. And
Just
it's-
like
Allow
the
me
most-
to assist you in your clogged pipes.
It's like the most sophisticated orc of all time.
Oh no, I'm just picturing mucus in a tux, but that's just
like an ooze that's a man, like
Yeah,
a humanoid
yeah,
ooze.
Yeah.
It has like it's wearing glasses, but has like no
Pay
defined
no
features.
attention to my deformed appearance. I promise you it is just a small condition. It does not impair me from enacting my profession upon your pipes.
I don't like how that was phrased.
Pay no attention to my phrasing either. I did not go to school for an English degree.
Maybe I should speak your native language.
Okay. All
I
right.
find that very offensive, my good sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
people often do.
I don't think you can say that.
I did not see that, Trey. I missed it. I have to look for that tomorrow.
With the mask made from foam.
Yeah, I saw that.
I probably did, but
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse, Lonzo and Cameron and Matthew. I almost said Odie. Odie's not here. He's at a secret gathering. Maybe someday we'll find out. Maybe we don't want to know. Maybe we don't want to know. Text line is 800-905-0989. Let's see. Texter says, you reckon Odie is at a tartan festival outside Columbia or wherever it is wearing a kilt. That same texter later on says, just now realizing Odie is Irish, isn't tartan and kilt Scottish? Okay.
Well, thank you for catching yourself.
No, I'm
guess.
guys like I don't know. That's why I'm saying okay.
I am pretty sure that that's
All right. Texter says, fellas, it didn't make it to Comic-Con, but I have a good excuse. I was working on my first fantasy work, the Kelpie versus Mothman, I think is what it says. Okay.
well, there's another day for tomorrow that you can take
yes,
a break and go enjoy some Comic-Con.
you absolutely can because it's 11 to 6 tomorrow. Also, next text says, Lonzo, tell Matthew I've heard of Lone Wolf and Cup. It's this thing.
Hey, all right.
I've heard of it before. Just because I didn't know what it was doesn't mean I haven't heard of it before. And probably there may have been a time when not only had I heard of it, but I was into it, but because of my extreme age, I forgot.
it gets to all of us.
Yes, it does. If you want to be a part of the show, text line is 800-905-0989. Goose says, Matthew, the Wikipedia of the Upstate Pulse. Whether he wants to be or not, if I don't know what it is, I'm just asking him. Because here's the thing. If he doesn't know, he's faster at Googling than anybody else because it's part of his job. I mean
it's just a matter of typing.
He's a better researcher.
He's the Upstate Pulse scribe.
Yes. Well, no, that would imply, lesser. And
No.
Yeah, a scribe, while important, is there to scribe other people. They're not writing their own story. They're writing other people's story.
So, speaking of Lone Wolf and Cub, I might have just realized I'm stupid because 2 of these volumes are the same volume.
No.
Oh.
I didn't notice. Well,
it's
that's
all right.
fine.
It's all right. You got an extra.
Now I can see which one is better and then put the other one in my eventual to sell manga pile.
There you go. You got to have one of those. All right. Speaking of to sell, let's talk about to buy. There was a big announcement that Matthew was very, very excited about. Nintendo Direct just happened. I was live on the air when it was going on, so I didn't get to see a lot of the stuff. But one of our guests who was waiting in the green room, we have those kind of, was all into Nintendo Direct. And the big announcement that Switch 2 is coming out. And I decided I was going to do a bunch of research, but why do that when I know Matthew knows all about it?
Yeah, I was super hyped watching the live stream. I know you wouldn't guess that I'm a Nintendo fan from the fact that I've been holding up a Volcarona plush for the past 10 minutes, but I am. I know it's crazy, but so we knew that Nintendo Switch 2 was coming, and so then when the Direct was announced, we were all in anticipation for our first official look at the Switch 2, and we had our expectations for what we were hoping it would be. We knew what our gripes were with the original Switch and what we wanted to see, and they met almost every single expectation. This was one of the best Nintendo Directs that we have ever had, period. The Switch 2 itself has hit a lot of the landmarks. There's still a few things that aren't what we would really like the UI is still the exact same from the original Switch, which is kind of a pain to navigate sometimes, especially for people that do a lot of downloaded games. I use physical games, so I don't have too much issues, but I can see where a lot of people that download their games would have issues with. But the storage size is 8 times that now. They're actually bringing it up to semi-modern performance standards, being able to, in handheld mode, hit 60 FPS and or 1080p, 120 FPS, I think, handheld. Either 60 or 120, but at least 60 handheld.
So it's actually 120.
It is handheld.
Yeah, because he
Okay,
was
I
looking.
couldn't
So
remember.
if it is 120, you say bringing up to modern standards. What are the modern standards as far as that goes?
So modern standards as far as consoles are concerned is being able to hit at least 1440p, preferably 4K, and being able to hit that 120 FPS threshold. They're not hitting the same levels as something like Xbox One or PS5 Pro, but we didn't ever expect them to. And the fact that they're hitting what they are is kind of crazy because when it is in docked mode, it actually does hit 4K 60 FPS, which is really surprising. We did not expect Nintendo to actually bump up the performance that much. So I don't know how they're getting that kind of performance out of that little Switch, because it is the same. It's the same thickness as the original Switch, but it is a slightly larger screen size. It's 7 or 7.5 inches instead of the 6 3/4 inches the Switch 1 is, I believe. But yeah, and they already announced a few games for it. They announced Mario Kart World, the first Mario Kart, first new Mario Kart in 10 or some odd years, as well as the first 3D Donkey Kong game since Nintendo 64. Yeah.
That's a little bit more wild than the Mario Kart, but...
And they're bringing back original Donkey Kong visuals as far as his design, his original design, instead of the rare design that they've been using for the past 20 some odd years.
All right, a couple things. I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm curious because you're such a Nintendo fan. What do you think about the price point being as much as it is?
That's what I was about to get into. The biggest mark that people, of course, have had is the price. The console itself is kind of okay. It's a little pricier than what we're used to from Nintendo, but with the performance increase, it's not too surprising, and it's still within ranges of what we can kind of be okay with. But it's the games that people are having a lot of issues with. But there's also been a lot of misinformation going around based off of speculations that people were seeing. So what it's looking like it's going to be is games are actually going to be usually about $60 to $70 like they were, a little bit more on the 70 side as they were starting to move to, with a couple games in particular being $80, such
I
as
was going to
Mario
say,
Kart
so you don't
World.
believe the 80 and 90 price
No,
point
the
that I'm
80 and
seeing?
90 was misinformation. The 80 and 90 was coming from the idea that physical games were going to be $90 and that the digitals were going to be 80. That was incorrect. That was a misunderstanding from some price posting somewhere that was not fully backed up or anything. So no, digital and physical games are supposedly going to be the same price, and they should be 60 to 70 usually. Some of the big first parties might go up to 80.
All right. So as far as backwards compatibility, have they announced that?
Yeah, it's going to be able to play Switch 1 games, and several Switch 1 games are getting specific upgrades that some of which will include DLC like Kirby Forgotten Land, and some are just an base improvement to optimize some of the performance like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. There's a couple more they announced I'm blanking on.
Metroid.
Yeah, Metroid. And then there's a couple that are also getting a little bit of very minor additional content added. I think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are among that as well.
All right. Trey says, do you think there'll be some Christmas deals for the Switch 2? My daughter's birthday.
Definitely.
I'd be December
surprised if there
27th.
isn't.
There's not going to be a price drop. I mean, with
It's
the
not gonna be
branded
like-
console, but
I would be very surprised to see an actual price drop, but I wouldn't be surprised to see like some Black Friday deal type of things that are done by actual retailers, not
Right.
Nintendo.
right.
Also, the fact that it's dropping in the summer, so it'll give
Yeah.
it a couple months to marinate.
I
And
also
then-
I think this is a good time for them to do what they're doing because PS5 and Xbox Series X and S have been out for a while, and so this is like the latest new console. So they're not coming out when another console is coming out. And there's some people who just, I need a new console. Hey, here it is.
You know what's
I'm
weird?
gonna go
And
out
that
get it.
is, speaking of those other systems, this was one of the biggest things that people were surprised by during the Direct. The Nintendo Switch 2 is getting significant third-party support to the degree that we are now getting Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, hold it.
technically Bloodborne
Hold on
2,
to it.
but a
Hold on to it.
spiritual successor to Bloodborne.
Hold on to it, and we'll talk about it in the final segment of this hour. Listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD. Go tease, Matthew. I was trying to get you to tease. You just want to give it
I
all
was
away.
excited, okay?
Listening to 98.9 WORD, the Upstate's voice, or the voice of the Upstate, voice of the Upstate's news, voice of the voice of
The voice of the Carolinas.
the voice of the Carolinas too, and the voice of pop culture, and the voice of South Carolina, and voice of the people in this room. Yeah.
What happened?
Funnily enough, I think that was my first voice of the Carolinas on the Upstate Pulse.
Way to go, you.
Wow, guys, I finally got to say it. It's definitely not like I say it like 13
I mean,
to
you
14
say it
times
all
every
the time,
day.
yeah.
No, yeah.
What's one more time to
What's-
the hundreds?
What's one more time?
Here's the thing. Did I mess up?
No, you made it funny.
I mean, you don't know if I messed up or not.
I never know.
That's my style.
It's the Willy Wonka
All right,
front,
this
front
is.
roll.
I want to bring this up when we come back. Someone said, "Did you see Big Bird?" No, I did not. We missed Big Bird.
Big Bird was
There's
there.
Big Bird.
I didn't see a big
Yeah, if we would have seen Big Bird, we would have seen him.
Heck yeah.
Because if he's Big Bird, then he should be like what, 8 feet tall?
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah. I can.
thank you.
I assume I guessed right.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Also, I don't know. Well,
Yeah, we text her if you're listening, and I'll bring this up when we come back on the air. Didn't see any furries, but we were there so early we didn't see hardly anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they probably are. It's furry time, whatever that is. Is there a furry time, Matthew?
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
No particular reason.
Because you're a news guy and you know stuff like that.
You're a worldly
It's-
fellow.
it's probably-
Perhaps you
It's
know.
probably common news knowledge. Roger probably knows it. I mean, we know Rob Jones knows, and then Lee probably knew before any of you guys were born. So
Good fellow, do you know the happenings of the furries?
first time.
I hate it here.
Matthew just walks out the door, doesn't want to do anymore.
Well, you never know. That might just happen
I'm going to take my manga and my plushie.
in like 10 minutes.
He's going to storm out. By the way,
I
something
can't believe you've done this.
something funny. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine at work who is not into gaming or anything like that, but he just talked to me out of the blue. He's like, I want to buy a Nintendo Switch too. And I had no idea it was coming out at this point. I was like, that's the thing? He's like, yeah, how did you not know? I was like, I've been busy. I've been very busy. It's like,
I don't,
so it
I
might
don't
actually
know.
start bringing
I'm
people
trying
out.
to. I don't think I really need another console right now.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
I-
to search you.
I'm gonna buy a Switch too.
Yeah, we kind of guessed that you probably would. I don't know. It's
I
not
don't-
that I don't want.
We'll
Another console?
see entirely though, just because of several factors coming up. Primarily because we know the MSRP, but that is just the MSRP, and that could especially change with things that are going on, tariffs and all that could affect it. So we have no idea what the final prices will actually be in the US.
I didn't want to bring up that part, but I did see a lot
It
of
is
things.
important
Yeah,
to mention for that. And it is 2 months away, so who knows what the situation will be then.
June will be here like tomorrow. Time's going
I feel
by
like
so
I've blinked
fast.
and it's just suddenly April.
Yeah,
Yeah. The month has gone by pretty quickly.
I don't like it because it's like it's like another step closer to dying
Tuesday's gone
with the wind.
with the wind.
What do they mean?
Welcome back to the Upstate Pulse. I should probably retire this music while Odie's at a gathering. Although somewhere at the gathering, he just perked up and just started dancing.
He's just, getting down to the groove, man.
Which I don't know how that. When you're at a secret gathering, you may be immediately frisked or something. It's just like on the ground, face first.
At that poker game he's not supposed to be at.
Yeah, or wherever he may be. All right, text line for the show is 800-905-0989. By the way, if you didn't tune in last week, you probably don't know who our toy bracket winner was, and it was Legos. I went with what I believe the plural is on purpose. Legos. All right, texter says, I love buying the SC Comicon VIP in part so I can skip the line and while walking ahead see the cosplayers and any furries waiting in line. We didn't see, because we didn't go past the line. So I didn't see any furries. Matthew, did you see any furries before you left?
Nope.
I did see, by the way, I saw Ox King, I saw Chi-Chi, and I saw a small Saiyan child, which was pretty cool. And my granddaughter, who we thought would be excited, immediately clung to her mom and just kind of moved around to the back. I was like, "Are you really scared?" And she's
That's like weird bouts of shyness, but she's a kid. So
Texter says, "Did you see Big Bird?" We did not see Big Bird. None of us. Did anybody else see Big Bird? Was Big Bird actually there? Did you follow
I
that
think you're
bird?
gaslighting us.
It could be because we didn't see it.
I have a better question. Did you find Waldo? He owes me money.
There's always a Waldo there. Sometimes multiple Waldos.
If I do actually see a Waldo there tomorrow, I'm going to yell out across the floor, "You! I finally found you!"
I don't think he'll do that because that might cause a problem.
It might,
Because
but
if you spot him,
think I
then
can use it.
everybody else will spot Waldo, and then he's going to disappear.
there's going to be a fracas.
I think the question is: are there multiple Waldos or just one?
It's a closely guarded trade secret.
Okay, there we go. All right.
The once and future Waldo.
Matthew was excited about some of the games that are coming out on Switch 2, including what he has dubbed, and maybe someone else did, the successor to Bloodborne.
Yeah, it is a FromSoft game that is holding the naming convention of Bloodborne. It's Blood something else. I don't remember what it was called specifically, but
Duskbloods.
Duskbloods. Thank you. And it just has the exact same visuals as Bloodborne, pretty much. So
Seems a bit more modern though. 'cause
yeah,
there's, like,
it's
trains
definitely
and stuff like
different,
that.
but like it's like Bloodborne was what's the time period I'm thinking of?
It's more like Gothic, like late mid.
I know
like
I got
early Renaissance, sort of.
I got Bloodborne for Cameron for Christmas, and I don't know how much you played it.
And availability of the PS4
It's a
was
PS4.
a little bit lacking.
It's very available
But,
now if you want.
Yeah,
Just saying.
the Bloodborne successor though is coming to Nintendo Switch as a Nintendo Switch exclusive. That is massive.
Is that I am curious from those Souls type games. Would it be harder to play on a handheld?
I don't know.
I don't know. It depends on how the controls feel with it. I personally think it'll probably feel best on a Pro controller. I don't think it'll feel awful to play on handheld, but I think it'll definitely feel better on. But this is also coming from someone who is used to playing Soulsborne games on an Xbox 360 controller.
The thing is with those games, I mean, if your controller strays a little bit or does anything like that, you're dead.
Imprecision means death.
Yes. You think you're hidden, and then suddenly your guy moves. Like, what? I didn't touch it. Why did it move?
Nah, that's just a skill issue at that point. People have beaten it with literal pieces of toast as their
Yeah, I hate
controls.
those people. I don't think
I also hate those.
I think those
I love
people
those
should be
people.
taken
I
to
love
an
those
island
challenge
and live with others of their ilk.
Watch the girl beat the soul of Cinder on a dance pad.
Yeah,
I've never
The
felt
dance
more.
pad, the Guitar Hero controller, the literal pieces of toast.
And I feel very adequate as a gamer, but then I see that as it's like, why am I even doing this? Am I even good?
You can be as good as you want. Those people are just gods.
True. I'll be fine with being a mortal.
They heard "get good" and they took it personally.
All right, that's it for the first hour of the Upstate Pulse. When we come back, we got a lot of stuff to get to, including the Oops AI Takeover, talk some more video games. I beat Adam Fall. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about CinemaCon, so many things. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
By the way, Matthew, I just remembered this.
Yeah.
But so a bit of like timing or irony or whatever. You know, the Wired YouTube channel has like the Google interview. Basically, this is like
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So Giancarlo Esposito was on there yesterday.
Who's that?
Giancarlo Esposito.
I don't know who that is.
You don't?
No.
He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. He was Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian. He was Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's also at SC Comicon this
Gotcha.
weekend.
Okay, yeah.
And so, like, I was watching that, and he was talking about how much he likes going to cons. I was like, yeah, you'll be there tomorrow.
Oh,
It's like weird, fun timing.
yeah, really. Now, to be fair, I would imagine that's always an on-time kind of thing with an actor going to a convention.
Well, the other question was like, how long ago did he film that?
I don't know how long ago they are on those usually. I would imagine it's not like a super long production cycle. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like in and out in like a day. But question is, do they have them in the can for a while? Do they have like so many other like guests and stuff that they have on there that like they trickle out over time?
Was he? I watched the first couple of seasons of that, Trey. Eventually, it got stale for me, but the first couple of seasons I thought were pretty good.
Also, I think my new favorite thing was him in the Electric State, with that Southern accent he had, because we were not expecting that. I was like, okay.
Oh.
So I'm going to bring this up when we get on the air, and I want to mention it before Matthew leaves. I made a mistake no one noticed. So if I make a mistake and no one notices, should I be noobed for it?
Was it the volume?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Was it when my mic wasn't on?
No.
Oh, okay.
Your mic was on. Your mic's.
Okay. I thought there was one instance where I didn't hear myself.
Well, that's probably your headphones.
Yeah.
Because I turned all three mics on at the same time. No, I at the end of the hour, I went to play the bed to the close, but I had it down when I hit it because I usually will fade that in. I hit it twice. When I hit it twice, it played the ID. So I had to go back and put the music back in. And you guys didn't see me leaning over and doing that.
Oh, I saw you doing stuff.
Yeah.
I just assumed you were pulling it up.
Oh no, I was fixing a mistake that I made that no one heard, but I did make the mistake. So
I don't think that's something that we could see you make a mistake.
Okay,
of.
all right.
Like,
Well,
if I see you leaning over, I just
Also,
assume
if it
pulling up
doesn't play out
something.
on the air,
well, I'm still
If
going to
nobody-
mention it on the air.
Yeah.
We're already getting, Marcus saying integrity noob.
I think now that you've brought it up, you have
Well,
to.
now you
Um,
have to noob yourself.
I'm willing to do it, but I want to see what the listeners say.
I think you're going against your own advice you've given me before. Is don't bring up your mistakes if people haven't noticed them.
Yeah, there it is.
I know, but when I don't know. I want to see how kind people are tonight.
That's always a great.
I mean,
question to
Mark
ask.
has labeled what it is. He didn't say that I need to do it or not.
He just
and
says it would be an
integrity noob is a good name for it when you
Also
when you
be a
mess
great
up
name
enough.
for a band.
See, here's the thing: when it would be a good name for a band. What
We
style
are
would they play?
integrity noob.
No, I don't think. I think there would be
Good
more.
point. We are integrity noob.
Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah.
Hello.
Are you
We
leaving
are
or not
integrity
leaving? What are you
noob.
doing?
Here to rock your socks off.
Gummit, the used man's back. Thought you were a
I'm
plumber.
allowed to have hobbies.
You need to make this into an actual character at some point. They have plasmoids now in D&D. Hello.
Hello. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I really don't want to shake your hand.
I get that a lot.
It's either going to burn my hand.
Texter,
or
I'm
it's
going to
gonna be
read
sticking for a
everything
while.
you're saying because it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable if you're watching.
Wait, what?
You'll see. We will address the Tron trailer and the roundtable before it's over. So I'd like dude,
what
it's awesome.
English episode of Daima aired this weekend?
13, the one that they were stuck on like the giant planet.
Okay, it was the giant plant one. Cool.
Where
I
they
liked that
where they
episode. I
fought
thought
the-
it was really fun and creative.
And the fact
I
that
have a problem with it, and we'll talk about it here in a little while. But I have a problem with Vegeta's reaction
yeah,
because talking about how scary the planet is and asking if there's another planet scarier than this. Vegeta don't get scared. That's just I know he spent a lot of time on Earth, but Vegeta blows up planets. Why would he be afraid of anything? He would just fly out in space and blow up the planet.
like the bug planet.
Yeah.
Remember that bug planet, Vegeta? Vegeta. 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 Vegeta.
I can't. I don't know how to emote to throw you in the air and blow you up. But that's the next part of the bit.
Oh,
And him going, ah!
I didn't want to scream, or I would have done that.
I don't remember the numbered bit. Happiest moment of my life.
minutes, 13 seconds. 10 minutes, 13 seconds. Happiest moment of my life. I don't know if that's the actual time, but all
What's
right.
that, Vegeta?
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo and Cameron here. Matthew is I don't know that he's going to the secret gathering also, but
I'm going to get work done.
yeah, Matthew he does a lot of things and he's behind on some of those things and he needs to go get caught up. So he is leaving, but at least he graced us with an hour, which we appreciate.
I wanted to be able to talk about Comic-Con and talk about the Switch and all that.
I didn't have your mic on because I thought you left. I mean, you took it.
I'm in the process of leaving.
Okay.
So when are you going to leave? Though?
Yeah,
What's the
I'm
cutoff?
literally turning off the computer right now that I was using.
Okay,
so,
we're like 7 minutes into the second hour, and you're still.
Well, we
here.
were in middle of conversation as I was packing up.
Okay. All right.
Gosh, they're just trying to get rid of me. They know that I overshadow, so they've got to get rid of me so they can get.
That's what it is.
Yes, you're definitely a shadow looming over us.
Take your Nintendo enthusiasm out of this room, please, sir. All right.
Well.
Take your Pokemon and go home.
Yeah.
Don't tell Professor Oak. He owes me $5. Where's Zenny? What's the currency in Johto?
I forget what is the currency.
Pokedollars.
Pokedollars.
That's inventive.
Pokedollars. Can you spend Pokedollars at like a Pokeball and get Poke?
Did they serve Pokemon?
I don't know.
How about Slowpoke Tails?
Ooh, Slowpoke Tails. They sound really good. I just
Bye, Matthew.
This Charmander is very spicy. Goodbye, Matthew. All right. Welcome into hour number 2 of the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo here, Cameron here. Odie is at a secret gathering, but he's just like commented on the stream as he realized that he sees there's a camera here for him, but it's not him. So before we get anywhere else, we want to let you know that South Carolina Comic-Con is still going on. Just because day 1 ended and you didn't get to go doesn't mean you can't go to day 2, which is just as good as day 1, except it's on Sunday. You ain't got nothing going on. Go to South Carolina Comic-Con. You can buy your tickets at the door. Greenville Convention Center. So coming from North Carolina, coming from Georgia, because you guys can, or from South Carolina, right from this here area, you can go spend a bunch of time with your friends, your pop culture friends, your nerdy friends, your geeky friends, your parents who bring their kids dressed up friends. And tomorrow is the cosplay contest. You don't want to miss that. Happens later on in the day, and that's always cool. We had Rob Young on a couple weeks ago and talking about his favorite cosplays, and he mentioned the
which was the same as ours, which was the Bumblebee.
Yeah, the Bumblebee was so good
years ago.
The Starscream wasn't bad either.
Oh, both of them were amazing because they both had moving parts.
I don't know. We don't know if that will be happening tomorrow also, but I mean the cosplay contest is happening, but we don't know if those particular guys with their or girls, I don't know. They are robots in disguise. They're robots in the, I don't know if those, I guess those robots have genders. I don't know. Text line is 800-905-0989. Texter said, I saw many furries as normal, though my ability to notice them is helped by the fact I'm a very observant lion furry. It's our lion furry friend who's commented many times.
Well, lions are known for their perception.
Also a reminder, don't take pics of resting headless fursuiters unless for some reason they let you. As a one-time a headless fursuiter at South Carolina Comic-Con let me take a pic of just a head they had off. Although they likely let me do that because my lion ears and tail made it clear I'm a furry too. There you go. You know, real recognizes real. People recognize their own, stuff like that. Let's see. Text. Let's go on the stream. Thoughts on the Tron trailer. We are going to get to the Tron trailer in just a little bit. Before the hour's over, I'm not going to tease and go, yeah, we're going to get to it. And I get it. We will. It's just me and Cameron. So we definitely will have time to talk about that. Chris says, if Rob Brown dressed in cosplay, what would he go as? A furry? A wall.
Yeah.
I think he pretty much guessed it. He would go as a furry wall.
Oh,
there we go.
Like a shag carpeted wall?
Yeah. What? Listen, don't you be cracking on shag now. Shag carpet is, it's wonderful.
I'm aware of your affinity for it.
It's very, very sensory. That's all I'm going to say.
Why am I just thinking of Austin Powers? But
I don't know. Yeah, baby. All right. So before we went to break, I I made a mistake, but no one heard it. So I am curious. Text line 800-905-0989, or we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X at either 98.9 WRD or the Upstate Pulse. If I made a mistake and no one heard it, should I noob myself? I'm going to give you a little bit of time to tell me whether I should noob myself or not. I have it ready if I need to noob myself. But the thing is, no one knew except for me. I know I made the mistake, but flawless board work in the first hour, but I made a little mistake at the end and no one noticed.
All right. So you're going against the advice you've given me on occasion is don't point out a mistake that you're able to cover up, because it just makes the situation worse. You just kind of move on after that.
In this case, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to gauge the meanness of the listening audience right now. That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, everybody may be
this little litmus test, this little pH
value
test.
It's a radio tool. People of my wonderful experience will use to gauge the anger of the listeners. Which we really don't have angry listeners too much.
Not really,
but we do have people who love to see other people suffer. So, especially Odie. I mean, who doesn't?
We're very chill sadists over here.
Who doesn't love to see Odie get noobed? I mean, text says, "Noob yourself, be a man." Okay, all right, that's a little personal. Let's see. Chris says, "If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around, does it make a sound?" Yes, God hears it. So there's that.
Also, sound waves are an actual physical force that goes out. So yes, it does make a sound.
That's true. But
because you don't hear it doesn't mean that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think he said. He also says no audible, no noob. I don't think this has to do with being honorable, but just because Odie's at a secret gathering and we get to noob him so much, I think it's a part of the show.
True.
That you hear the noob. And so I'm going to noob myself in honor of Odie being in Dubai.
Oh no, you messed up.
That's a noob.
Oh, noob.
Declining noobing.
Shout out BMW people. What? They're German. They get it.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
I'm aware of why that joke's funny.
They absolutely get it. All right. Wow. What did I do? That's okay.
What did you do? I saw screens flash.
I hit the mouse and it caused.
Are you gonna get an actual noob here?
No, because it didn't make a mistake. It just the screen went black for a second. It's fine. All right. A couple of days ago, we lost someone who was a star, someone who had been in a bunch of things that you just forget. Oh yeah, that guy was in it. He was so good, and it's Val Kilmer. This is someone. As growing up, this is one of my favorite actors of all time. I loved him as Chris Knight in Real Genius. Real Genius is another one of those 80s movies where a kid is out of place. So a nerd is out of place where nerds are. And because he's like 14 and everybody there, it's college.
Yeah.
And he's so smart and his parents are so dumb. And they're so dumb. And then they rented out his room. And then there's Kent, who heard the voice of God. Yes, I mean it was a great movie. It
popcorn going everywhere.
It really was.
By the way,
Laszlo Holyfeld, who is just an awesome character just for his name alone and his pajamas.
There is a thing that I reference often at my job, the scene where the one guy goes insane in the library. And then someone else just sits back down in his seat. I often think of that for some reason.
Well, because they're studying really hard.
Yes.
And
just someone just having a mental breakdown. Nobody else reacts. And they just take the seat. Just so calmly.
All right, Jim, I'm not going to read what you said, but there are a lot of women out there that are into pop culture. That's fine. If you ever saw Revenge of the Nerds, then nerds do it better. The other thing that Val Kilmer, I mean, obviously he was Iceman, as has been mentioned by Mark on the stream, and Willow mentioned by Chris. He was Matt Mardigan. I think Matt Mardigan was a big deal too, because before Willow, there hadn't been an adaptation, not too many, that had decent. The Dragons sucked. Okay, the dragons were horrible, and the trolls were not good, but everything else, the sword fights and stuff, were pretty cool.
Yes.
And Bab Morta was an awesome. And
As my niece calls her, Bad Morta.
yeah, Bab Morta and Finn Rizal. The battle between the two old ladies, that was pretty cool. But Matt Mortigan, saying he was the greatest swordsman and then doing great swordsman stuff and then immediately falling down. I mean, it was just great. It really was. I really loved him as and yes, as Doc Holliday. And I've seen a lot of things like from Babylon B where men are obligated to watch the entire thing of Tombstone that comes on, and it's true. It's true. If I see Tombstone and it's on, and I'm flipping through, I got to watch it. And I don't know that Cameron's ever watched Tombstone all the way through.
I have seen clips.
Yeah,
And I've seen like bits and pieces.
His acting in that was amazing, and he was. I never saw the Doors movie, but from what I've seen, he was a pretty good Jim Morrison. So, R.I.P. to Val Kilmer. He wasn't bad as Batman. I mean, he looked at the last script and said no. And George Clooney said, "Bat nipples, let's do it."
I'm sold on that.
Yeah. It's yeah.
That credit card, never leave the cave without it.
Yeah, there's that. All right. He was, by the way, Val Kilmer a little overshadowed in the Batman movie. For one thing, the writing was hokey, but he did have to deal with Tommy Lee Jones, and he did have to deal with a certain Riddler.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, there you go. All right, when we get back, we are going to talk some Dragon Ball, some Daredevil, and some advice that Paramount is giving theaters. Listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. All right, the bed ran out, so I will noob myself on that. Why in the world would I put a 30-second bed in there? Dummy.
You know how much you talk. Bum, bum, bum.
I don't have to, Jim. One thing about Comic-Con, it's awesome, it's amazing, it's a lot of fun, but it wears you out. Especially when you're having a leg problem like I am.
By the way, Sting will be in the media area from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Right.
You did say that.
I did.
Okay. I realize this now.
The media area is where, all the people are.
Yeah.
All the guests.
All the people.
Am I a bad dad because Cameron's never seen Tombstone or Naked Gun? I'll have to ask that on the air because I feel like maybe I'm not a good father because I think you should immediately go home and watch both movies back to back. Tombstone's a really long movie though.
I know it is.
It's a really
That's
long
why I was like, I will go to sleep at like 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't want to do that.
You mean it, like most Saturdays?
Look, but that's for different reasons. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chris. Look, you can try and do the idea that I was trying to get Dad to do. Is it Monty Python or is it like History of the World with the Bring Out Your Dad? It's Monty Python, right?
We'll go with yes.
So I just had the idea of just put him in a wheelbarrow, like the skit of Bring Out Your Dead, and just have like a bell as I like go through the aisles.
I think it's Holy Grail, wasn't it? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Like
I
at the
gotta look it
beginning-
up because I
at the
don't
beginning,
remember.
That could be wrong. I sat in a chair with no armrests on purpose, but I keep reaching for the armrest.
Is my Python in the Holy Grail? But I'm not dead yet. Yes, you are. You know, there's a self-defense course I think I need to teach people. It's about how to defend yourself against fresh fruit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too, Trey. At least we plan on it. Thank you, everyone, for pointing out it was Holy Grail. I thought it was. Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Alonzo and Cameron here. Matthew had to go because he has schoolwork. He's got a couple projects that he's working on, and he needed to finish them up. And since he went to Comicon earlier, they put him a little bit behind, so he had to take care of it. Now, as we went to break, I messed up. And because I messed up, I'm going to go ahead and get out. This was a legitimate mess up. The other one. So I shouldn't have noobed myself from before. Now I got two. And then here we go. And for you on the streams that didn't hear it, it played. Trust me, it definitely played.
Why do I sound like a Rick and Morty character? I
Um,
don't know why.
that's for each person to decide for themselves. I don't know why you are that. All right, texter. Text line, by the way, 800-905-0989. Texter says, just rented and watched the Borderlands movie. I'm convinced no one in Hollywood plays video games.
That's probably a fair assessment.
Yeah, there's been some decent video game movies.
There's been a lot more. Well, there's been more good ones than bad ones recently.
Hey, the Mario movie was excellent.
No, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like most of the ones I know that have come out recently have been good, like Sonic 3, the Mario movie. But the Borderlands movie is not one of them because I knew immediately as soon as I saw the trailers, like, yeah.
All right, we right now are going to talk about Dragon Ball Daima and Daredevil Born Again. So if you haven't watched the latest episode, don't go anywhere. You're just going to get spoiled. I mean, that's your own fault. I mean, if you get spoiled because you haven't watched it yet, that's on you. Why is that on me? That's not on me. That's not my fault.
Why is it an us problem?
Well, because they've been out a few days. One came out yesterday. All right, but still, the other stuff, I mean, that's like 20 minutes. You can take your time. All right, let us start with the cool stuff. They're both cool. Let's start with the nice stuff. The stuff that's not very disturbing on many different levels. Let's start with Dragon Ball Daima, and they had to crash land on a planet of giants, and first they got attacked by. Were they guinea pigs?
Hamsters.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Neva was
hamsters.
like, hamster attack.
Yeah, so they got attacked by hamsters, and then they got set upon by a nerd kid who was sitting down to have a snack.
Mostly his dog.
Yeah,
was
his dog. All right, so I am really enjoying this series. I think it's been really good, and I do think that it's in the vein of, it's in the spirit of, it has the same sense of humor of most of the DBZ stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
It feels like a nice blend between the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
Most of the lighthearted stuff.
Yeah, a lot more humor. When they do fight, it's not even the intense someone's going to die stuff, at least not yet, and I don't know if there will be.
Because I think we always forget just how brutal Z was.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And Super was pretty bad too. But more so the movies. I think the Dragon Ball movies were a lot more. I don't know. There's just Goku took a lot of damage.
Well, considering his face ate most of a mountain at one point from Broly.
Yeah, there's that, which I understand probably would hurt. But the one problem I have with it, and we were talking about this on the stream earlier, is Vegeta being scared and wanting off a planet. And I think that's bad writing. Just because he's been wished down to being a kid. Even when he was a kid, he wasn't afraid of that stuff.
No, he probably would have dealt with that stuff pretty harshly anyway.
I don't know if it's harder to blow up a planet in the demon world, but I don't think it is. They just look like regular planets. And just the fact that they made him scared, that I'm not the big Vegeta guy here. You are. And
I totally agree with you. That's why, like, the first Broly movie, I didn't really like it that much because Vegeta would not do that. Like, he has his faults. Being a coward isn't one of them.
He was scared of Frieza.
Yes, which makes sense because that was his childhood trauma. That was the guy who killed his entire race, who made him into a servant, who killed his father.
Right.
There's a lot of things with that.
Yeah, so I get the fear of Frieza, but the fear of a planet full of giants and another planet being worse than that, I just don't. That part bothered me, and I know it's nitpicking, for sure it's nitpicking, but it's still that's like the first time something bothered me in the series.
And I think it's just done for laughs. I don't think it was. Oh no! Oh no! We got a third noobing incoming. Oh, you really shouldn't have done that integrity noob at the beginning because I feel like you've doomed yourself.
It's all right. It's only 3. I'll be all right. I won't do another.
It's not
one.
like OD6.
Yeah, it's you know what? He showed up in the stream. Now you look what's happening.
Ah, you've been cursed.
Yes, it's some sort of Irish curse. There we go. Classic noob.
It's
Thank
the
you.
daggum fake curse.
Thank you, Angry Zach, for that one. Okay, fine. All right, so I got noobed again. All right, let us move on to Daredevil Born Again. All right, this thing is getting really, I mean, the physical parts are what you expect from Daredevil, but psychologically, I think it's always been like that with Daredevil, but I think it's worse this season.
In a way, yes, because of like all of Matt's built up trauma, and then just Muse himself, the whole thing around him is incredibly dark.
All right, there are some people, including Cameron, who ask, okay, so he's not the big bad because he's dead already.
Yeah, all right. I'll be honest. I'm a little disappointed about that because I feel like if they took him more from the comics, he would have been a more fun villain to deal with.
All right, just speculation that maybe he gets brought back, but they have kept Daredevil very grounded without, I mean, even though there are mentions of superheroes like Spider-Man and Kamala Khan, you never actually see them. And like some people are going, I've seen memes posted of Spider-Man just laying on the side of the belt, the one with his book bag or whatever, going, well, all this stuff is going on in Hell's Kitchen where he had just moved to, apparently.
Yeah.
That's
rated R stuff. I don't deal with that.
Yeah. I just
I'm over in the PG-13 part of New York.
Timeline wise, we don't know where he is. And he may be off of college now.
Could be.
Because he was looking at going to college. He may be at college, and I don't know where that particular college is, but I'm guessing it's not in Hell's Kitchen.
No, if I remember right, he was like trying to get his GED, actually.
Right.
Really?
But but Ned and MJ are going to college, and he wanted to go where they were going. So if he ended up going where they were going to college.
Yeah, that's right.
He's probably at college, and that's probably why he didn't notice. Or he ended up going to another dimension. We're going to talk a little bit more Spider-Man a little bit later. So Daredevil, the big bad is taken out, but now his new girlfriend, who was a counselor for Muse and for Kingpin, heard him say her name. We had joked around before, like maybe she knew who he was, and now is this going to be a problem? Because I think in the comic book, it is a problem.
Well, and the other thing is she's very observant, and if you're living with a person like she is, and noticing all the bruises and all the other stuff, like she even had a conversation with him at the beginning of the episode about all that, which was a very funny exchange.
Mark says maybe Muse will be the character who is truly born again.
That is a good point.
It is a good point.
Because I mean, you could take it as like Daredevil and Kingpin being born again, but Muse could also be born.
All right, the big bad to me is not even Kingpin rather. It's his task force. All right, so they've been building this up already. The tension between Matt and some of those cops already. It's those dirty cops, and I think it is between those two.
Basically turning New York against vigilantes.
Right. And the other thing is they're filming season 2 right now. So we know there's going to be a season 2 because they're in the middle of filming it.
Yeah.
And we've already speculated, and I still believe it's true. And I don't know that when we'll find out that Froggy faked his death. Foggy, whatever. I don't consider that a noob.
No.
I mean, if you do you guys consider that a noob because I call Foggy Froggy?
I'm just imagining him as a frog. And
Yeah. Just, you know what? I don't quit, but I do go to break. That's what I'm doing. We get back. We got a oops. We're gonna get to AI Takeover. More video games. Nerd Roundtable. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. What is wrong with me? I know it's Foggy. Why did I say Froggy?
You can make that joke. I think that's maybe may or may not have said it a couple times.
My brain was screaming, going, "No, don't do that! Don't say that!" And it's too late. It was already. I'm not noobing myself on that.
The missile has left the silo.
People say words wrong all the time. I'm not doing it.
But you're a professional.
Am I? Just because this is my profession, it doesn't mean I'm a professional at it.
Well, you have to be professional at your profession.
When does a job become your profession? How many years does it take? Or can you be somewhere forever and it never be your profession? I don't know. Or did you have to go to school for your profession? If Matthew were here, I'd have him look it up.
So profession is a paid occupation, especially one that involves prolonged training and a formal qualification.
That could be like any job.
What qualifies prolonged?
I mean, if you work at McDonald's for 10 years, McDonald's is probably your profession.
Also, the second one.
You are the fry guy.
What's really funny is the second one. An act of declaring that one has a particular feeling or quality, especially when this is not the case. His profession of delight rang hollow. Why exactly is that the example?
Sorry, I'm not talking. I got to do the thing.
Hi, I guess I'll talk because I'm the only other person in here.
Is there anything else left?
And so there was one.
No. I'm back.
One step closer to the Pappy domination.
Chris says 5 years for most jobs. I don't know. You know, only recently have I thought about this is my profession.
Why is it taking you like 30-something years?
Well, it hasn't been 30-something. It hasn't been that long. I know it seems like.
Why has it been 40 years for you to figure this out?
Well, no. It's about to be 28, so it's nearly 30. Unless it could be 29. It's either 28 or 29. I can't remember.
I think it's.
How old is Raven?
I forget.
She just had a birthday.
She's like 4 or 5 years younger than me.
I think she's 27.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right. So that means it's 28. It's actually probably 29 because I think we were here a year and then she came the following year. I don't know. It's probably been 30. Retirement is a thought, Chris.
28 years old or 28 years?
I'm pretty sure I'm getting retired. I don't think I'm going to have anything to do with it.
Oh,
I still think it's going to be one day they're going to walk in and I was told, "Oh, you do belong." It's like, yeah, that's what you would say. Stone Man asked me one day, he's like, "How you feeling today?" I was like, feeling like this is the day they'll find out I don't belong. This is the day someone will go, "Hey, we've been noticing this guy on the radio. Why is he on the air?
why is he here?
So why? I mean, how's he qualified?"
Here's the thing. Don't belong. be here in spite of everybody else.
Well, I don't think who really belongs in radio. I don't know.
It's the island of misfit toys.
It
Anyway.
absolutely is. This station probably not so much, but I mean, well, everyone behind the scenes for sure.
I could go for some more scones.
All right, we're going to do a couple things. Welcome back to the Upstate Pulse. I'm Lonzo. He's Cameron. Matthew had to leave, and Odie is at a secret gathering. We'll do a couple things. That is the oops intro. I'm taking a chance here. Usually I don't do an oops where it happened locally, because you never know if they're actually listening and they may show up, and it's dark outside right now. I'm just saying. But we're going to take a chance here because this happened in Asheville, and even though they can hear us up there, by the time they get down here, we'll be gone.
I don't know what happened, officer. The geese might have gone.
Yeah, you go. We're out of here in 23 minutes. So I mean,
why would you tell them?
Because I mean, we don't. Anyhow, all right. Police canvassed, not canvassed. They looked around the area until they located a man matching the description of the culprit, who was eating what, Cameron?
A cannoli.
No, it was a pastry though. Is a cannoli a pastry?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so it's good. An Asheville, North Carolina man wielding a machete was arrested for armed robbery after he allegedly stole a cinnamon bun from a grocery store before fleeing on foot, according to police. See, here's the thing.
Did someone steal your sweet roll?
Did someone steal your sweet roll? This happened on April 1st. So, but a ton of people picked it up, including Fox Carolina, because I'm thinking it's April 1st. This is April Fool's joke. But a ton of people picked it up, and the guy, he looked like a winner. The picture. The Asheville Police Department said 33-year-old Jeffrey Dwayne Bradburn has been charged with armed robbery, shoplifting, and possession of drug paraphernalia. The department said in a press release that its officers responded to the grocery store at about 5:30 on Monday after receiving reports of an armed robbery. When officers arrived, the store employee alleged that a man had stolen a cinnamon bun and incense. Because, I mean, here's the thing. What
kind of experience was he going for with that cinnamon roll?
The right kind of cinnamon roll is, some people would consider a religious experience. And so a little incense going on while you eat.
Maybe he has some music that has some saxophone in it, just some light jazz.
I don't think you need all that. If the frosting is, if it's just hot, but not so hot that it burns you, and it's just kind of, it's oozing off the side.
I just want you to know, Never Gonna Dance Again is stuck in my head.
Okay, well, Guilty Feet have got no rhythm. Let's see. When the man was confronted after he took the cinnamon bun and the incense, what kind of store sells cinnamon buns and incense, by the way? Can you buy incense at a gas station or a convenience store?
No, I'd imagine he went to maybe a superstore like Walmart.
I don't know. Do they sell incense?
Who sells incense? We don't know.
So maybe Walmart. I'm not aware. When the man
he went to a Warlock store or something. I don't know.
When the man was confronted, the store employee said he displayed a machete before running away. Police canvassed the area for a suspect when they found a man later identified as Bradburn, who matched the description and was eating a cinnamon bun. So, I mean, they don't say if the incense was burning or not. Okay. I mean,
maybe he just needed the machete to cut up the cinnamon bun.
If you're going to jail for stealing a cinnamon bun and incense, wouldn't you light the incense? I don't know.
Well, they never said that the incense wasn't lit.
They didn't, but they didn't say it was. The police are usually pretty thorough. I would think that they, would say that if that's what happened.
Now we're just having a Schrodinger's incense thing.
Well, possibly we are. We're almost having a debate. Debates happen
just because something is not mentioned doesn't mean it.
You're killing my segue. Debates happen in the roundtable. By the way, Texers, if you're using Pappy's voice as an excuse for something not being conveyed the right way, you're excused. When I hear Pappy's voice in my head, and I do sometimes, I know that's off color. That's something that
Why?
I should not be
I'm
thinking
a
that way.
paragon of virtue.
Yeah, virtue, paragon. Yeah, you're a paragon of something.
I am a very nice man. I do very nice things for people.
All right, Chris. I'm not reading that. It's pretty funny. If you want to see what Chris wrote, you can check us out on stream 98.9 WRD or the Upstate Pulse on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or X.
There's a term that comes to mind.
What he said.
One that has been banned from the Upstate Pulse.
Yes, exactly. And that's what he
but
said.
now it's in your hand.
No, stop it. Stop it. All right. Let us talk about a few things in the roundtable before we get to lightning round. First of all, Adamfall came out on Game Pass. I still say Game Pass is the best. The best. It will make your dollars go far.
One of the best things in gaming.
Yeah, because you'll get brand new games dropping on Game Pass, including one that comes out Tuesday, which I'm looking forward to. Already got it partially downloaded. I forget what it's called, but it has to do with swamps and like riding a big fish.
South from Midnight?
Yeah, that's it. You're like riding a big fish. I'm guessing it's going to be really hard, but we'll see.
Cajun frog.
Yeah, I thought it was a fish. Is it a frog? I don't know.
Oh, it's a frog.
Okay. Maybe his name is Foggy. But anyway.
Oh, it's a callback.
Adamfall, that's what I do. I'm good at that. Adamfall was billed kind of a Fallout in England. It's not really. All right, so I almost gave up on the game. I did because I could not figure out how to get through the last door because the last door is like in the middle of an army encampment. And as much as I tried to get through it, whatever means I tried to, I could not. So I had to go back and befriend someone I didn't want to befriend, but I did. It got me in the door. So the whole thing is the game tells you to kill Oberon, but you don't know who or what Oberon is. I made it all the way through, made it out of the game, still don't know who Oberon is. There's speculation on my part, and maybe another ending would have told me who Oberon is, or if it is an entity.
Maybe it was a voice in the soil.
Maybe.
Well, the other thing is like Oberon is a reference to the King of the Fairies from a famous Shakespearean play. Also probably from some sort of lore that he also pulled from. So, and to a degree, there's a certain amount of like fayish things that are going along in that game.
I wish we had our fayish expert here, but we do not because he's in a gathering. Anyway, I didn't hate the game, but I just wanted to be done with it, and I expected something more from the ending. And I went with kind of the spy ending, and they knocked me out, and I don't know who they were. And then the voice comes on and says that you may have made it out. So I don't know if I made it out or not, and the game was over. And I even waited till the end of the credits to see if it popped up and something happened.
So it's one of those endings that says Finn with a question mark.
Yeah, it's so. Will I play through again? No, I will not.
You know what doesn't have any sort of obscurity to it? Monster Hunter Wilds.
Right, you go out and you kill monsters.
I killed a bubble dragon today.
Okay.
It was awesome.
Bubble dragons do not sound that dangerous.
It beat the mess out of all of us. That thing is a monster.
Well, it's called a bubble dragon. All right. We were going to do AI Takeover. We don't have time to play the intro because it's really long because whoever made it really long. I will say something dropped today, and it's called a Corleo. Not Don Corleo, but Corleo. That's a Beavis and Butthead reference because I made it earlier for you and it didn't spark anything. I'm just telling you what it is.
I think that's because you were a good dad.
Yeah. Well, I'm all right. So Corleo is being made by Kawasaki. And here's the thing. I mean, it is it's something they're going to make in the future. It's basically a robot with 4 legs that you can ride. And what it does is it adapts to any terrain. You can go up the side of a mountain. You can go through.
Did they ever say how fast it can go?
No, but there is some AI of someone riding fast. They say it will replace horses. Here's the thing, though. Why do you need to replace horses? Why not just ride a horse? It seems to be shorter than a horse. I think there's some ulterior motives. It looks kind of cool, but at the same time, it has AI in it. I'm just saying. And
Does it actually have AI, or is it just?
It says it has AI. I don't know, and GPS. So I mean, in the article it says that they're going to emulate other animals. Why do they need to emulate other animals? There was a PlayStation game, a couple of them, where the robots were all that was left of a civilization.
Oh, you're saying we're gonna get Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yes, Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's when you get attacked by robot animals.
All right, so you can say that this is paranoia. You can say that this is just me being me. You can say that this is just a radio bit. But when I saw it, all I pictured was an army of these things being ridden by robots. So you've got an AI horse being ridden by an AI robot. They're the army. They're coming to take out whoever.
So I say, why would you need a robot riding the robot horse? I mean, why wouldn't the robot?
Because you get two robots.
If one goes down, then the other one.
No, you get double the army. Think about it. So if you let's say you send 10 of these robots riding robots, you're sending 20.
Mm-hmm.
And they're mobile, and there may be some things that the actual walking robots can't do, and places that they can't get to that the riding robots can. I'm just saying, check it out. There's a bunch of video.
I'm thinking about this in RTS terms.
It just dropped today, and it's kind of freaky. So think of robot dogs except they're horses. It's kind of the same thing.
I was also thinking about like the robot dogs from Kingsman 2. And it's like, if those things had like jaws that could like tear into things, that would also be scary.
We're also
thinking about all the negative applications of it because,
they're saying that these will be available in the year 2050, which sounds like a really long time away. Because it is. It's like 25 years away, but probably most of us will still be here then. I don't picture
I know I will be
70-year-old me on the back of a robot horse.
I, for one, look forward to my robot apocalypse.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hit the lightning round. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Skynet just has these locations because they know they have an exclusion. So, hey.
He's making robot horses. Next, you're making a robot elephant, a robot rhino, a robot raptor,
robot platypus. Daggum robot.
Speaking of which, that's the trailer I forgot to watch.
What?
The trailer for the new Phineas and Ferb is out.
What?
Yeah, we talked about them.
That's right. I forgot about that. A platypus. There is a platypus.
Exactly. Oh, it's promo. I'm like, oh no. What's Buczynski about to say? Comicon had a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to squeeze some of that in here.
Like a fat guy in skinny jeans.
What?
It's called a metaphor. Actually, no, that's a simile because I used like.
What?
I'm trying to give you the energy of two people.
You barely had any energy before we got in there.
I feel great now.
Yeah.
I'm hyped up on honey pepperoni pizza.
That was pretty good, actually.
It was very good.
I'm feeling some after effects from it, though.
They
put extra honey on mine because I don't know why.
Honey, you just need some honey.
Maybe I look like I needed more honey. So, the Donato's at Red Robin has a new pizza, and it was
honey hot pepperoni.
Yeah, honey hot pepperoni. We're gonna go with that. It's got some flecks of the red pepper on it, and it's honey over top of the thing. And mine is drippings with the honey.
Oozing with it.
Speaking of which, you might need to get a paper towel if it's soaked through. I just thought about that. The desk will be. Yeah, it's Rob's desk though. So I mean, I'm not gonna put it on my desk.
Sticky?
Yeah, I'm not gonna put it on my desk. I put it on Rob's desk. He does the same thing to me. Come on, I find my stuff moved around, and I know that he sat over there or moved something over there. Agreed, Trey. But I don't know if they can. I mean,
get away with half the stuff that they were able to.
It's an acquired thing. It really is. I mean, there was a time I was telling Cameron, was explaining Naked Gun to him and putting it akin to Mel Brooks movies, except for upping it a little bit, where there's everything's a gag. There is nothing that's not a gag. I have my reservations about Liam Neeson, but we'll see.
He can be funny.
Can Qui-Gon Jinn be funny? I don't know. I have a particular set of skills. Will he make fun of himself in it? Probably at some point.
He spoofed himself before. It's also kind of odd that
Don't say that, Chris. We might have a bee infestation in the office.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll call engineering. They'll take care of it. Chris will show up in a beekeeper's outfit. We're good.
That's like the electric fly swatter. I was like, why?
No.
Why did you guys?
Yeah. But he'll capture the bees and he'll keep them out back for some side honey business. You know how that goes.
Someone shows up. When did you guys have an apiary?
You know, one doesn't one?
Oh, yes. Welcome to the apiary. I believe that's what that's called, right?
Lightning can only strike twice so many times.
All right, before we get into the lightning round, let me remind you that South Carolina Comicon is still going on tomorrow, 11 to 6. If you didn't get to go today, or even if you did get to go today, go tomorrow, because there's a special guest there that unfortunately I didn't get the interview and I was supposed to. I'm very disappointed about it, but you know, it's not their fault. It happens, scheduling conflicts and stuff.
Maybe you should ask him about that.
Let's say no, I'm not going to do that. It's not. I mean, no. Sting will be there from 11 to 2. He wasn't there today, but he will be there tomorrow. There's some other guys that were there today that won't be there tomorrow. Like Giancarlo Esposito was not supposed to be there both days, and he is going to be. So, I mean, there are a lot of things. If you didn't get a chance to go meet any of the guests or get out there and visit, I will say one of the coolest parts, as I've said many times, so I'm saying it because of what I'm saying, is Comic-Con is a chance to pick things up, to not order them online and not get something that's twice as small as it looked like when you looked at the picture. I picked up the Majin Buu, the Fat Buu, and he's weighty. I mean, he's a couple pounds weight, which those statues usually don't have that kind of weight to them. The last statue I got that was that heavy was Yajirobe, and he should have been. So
Bean Daddy,
because Bean Daddy, it's all
those sensus that puts on the weight.
They do. All right, couple things that happened at CinemaCon, including the extended trailer for Superman, where you get to see that Crypto not exactly the best doggy.
I think my favorite part of the trailer is just like he has 14 fractured bones,
Yeah.
and in my head, and I saw in the comments, 13 of those are from Crypto.
All right, so Crypto comes along and he's doing what a dog does. He's jumping all over Superman, but Superman is just got the mess beat out of him. And then he talks him into taking him to the fortress. We get to see the fortress. You get to see the Calyx, I think it is, and some of the other robots. And some people, because there's a new one, I think it's number 12, and she's like, "Oh, he looked at me." And Calyx says, "You know, we are robots. We don't have emotion." That was sarcasm.
Yes.
And people are like, "That? Well, he said this and that. Horrible writing.
Bad writing.
Horrible writing." That girl, she immediately showed emotion. It was, by the way, the voice of Alan Tudyk. That guy cannot speak without being sarcastic. That's just, he was probably born speaking in sarcasm. His cries were probably sarcastic.
Well, Serenity definitely wasn't sarcastic.
Yeah, well, I'm a leaf on the wind. Listen, the other cool part is seeing the fortress, how it's hidden until someone there, which we believe with Kryptonian DNA, and that opens up. And the fact when they were going to heal him with sun, that the fortress moved. The fortress moved so they could get into direct sunlight. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh no, I did.
The fortress. That is cool.
The design of it was amazing.
So you got the haters on one side. Oh, it's horrible. There are people who are going to hate something just because they want to hate. I don't get those people. Go watch it and see if you like it or not. Don't automatically hate it because it's Superman. That he's too perfect. Everyone that says Superman's perfect, they don't know Superman and they've never watched it. I've been rewatching Justice League. Superman gets a mess beat out of him almost every episode.
Also, he also has to deal with a lot of moral qualms. Just like because he's
That's
that
strong.
powerful.
Yeah, and Kryptonite can hurt him. Magic can hurt him. There's a lot of things can hurt him. He is not perfect, but he is.
Sass from Batman also hurts him.
He is someone to aspire to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Then the new Naked Gun trailer came out. I did not think this was going to be any good. I still am not sure.
I've never seen anyone get that messed up by a lollipop before.
Yeah, it was the posing was interesting.
Yeah. Camera angle, not great.
The trailer is good, and especially at the end when they're all looking at pictures. So what they did is they give everybody the same name as the original police squad, except for they're like all juniors. And then when Nordenberg's son, Nordenberg, played by OJ, is looking up at his, he just kind of shakes his head. That was pretty funny. Also, dropped today, Tron Ares. Dude, that looks wicked.
It looks so good.
Tron was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid because it was the first one that used that kind of technology. And the fact of actually going into a video game was an unheard of concept because games were still fairly new when they did this. And the fact that they're coming into the real world, which we saw in the last Tron when he brought the girl out.
Yeah.
So we know it's possible. But this time the bad guys are coming out and they're like cutting stuff in half and stuff. And it's going to be bad.
Don't chase light cycles.
Yeah, don't do that.
Much like waterfalls.
Also, Kingpin Vincent D'Onofrio, who you can see at South Carolina Comicon tomorrow, has said that you will not see Kingpin in any of the movies coming up because of rights things.
Oh.
So he can't be in movies. He can only be in TV shows and series. All right. I want to thank everybody for being on the stream. I want to thank everybody for texting in. I want to thank Matthew for being here for an hour. Maybe next week you could be here for 2 hours. I want to thank Odie for being at a gathering. Not really. Would rather him be right here. Have a great weekend.
Gonna thank me, Dad?
Thanks, Cameron. If we see you tomorrow at South Carolina Comicon, no hugs. No hugs. I don't want to do hugs.
Hug him.
Hand hugs.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's all right. Everyone does that to me. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to jump off of here and do 35 hours of cleanup, and then we're going to go home. And again, thank you for being a part of the show.
Oh,
I now have no voice left. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, Cameron.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye.